Hi everybody, Flash Raspberry back again with another look at Suzerain. This has been one of my favourite games the past couple of years. I've done two full runs through this game and had a great time with it. The reason why we've come back to it now is, I'm not going to load anything yet, is because it's Suzerain 2.0 amendment update. Dear citizens of Sordland, we are thrilled to share with you the moment you've all been eagerly waiting for, the unveiling of the 2.0 amendment update for Suzerain. This update makes a true rebirth of our beloved Suzerain, taking it to a new level. Experience fresh dialogues, impactful choices and tangible consequences that shape your nation's destiny, enhanced visuals, an interactive world map and an immersive narrative awaits you. Yeah, it's basically, it's almost like getting a new game essentially. Also, so this is changes come on because towards the end of the year, Q4 this year, we're getting the first major DLC, the Kingdom of Rizia. So anyway, so I thought I'd come back to it because I love this game. I'll put the links to the previous two runs, which I won't spoil it, but they were interesting. It's a new game. Let's go. Let's go. Why am I thinking some FT LP1 holding done? Caps.com. No, it's not. Government of Sordland, main story. President of the Republic, 40 million people in recession, major regional power. Anton Rayne has been. You must complete the main story to disable the torpor mode. What is the torpor mode? Made manual saves and achievements you can. Okay, right. I have completed storyline twice. It didn't end particularly well on either one of them, but anyway. Oh look, these are new. Oh look. Oh, hang on, let's go. So let's go with that one. Start story. Okay. So we'll get into all the new visuals. Hopefully, while I've done, I'll hopefully remember to put some game footage over the top of me talking the introduction. Yes, it's one of my favourite games past couple of years. I love a good narrative, bit of narrative storyline. You are my enslavement and my freedom. You are my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You are my country. Nazim Hikmet Ran. 1908, Kingdom of Sordland. You open your eyes to this world. You came from wealthy family, Blackhaven to Yazin. Impoverished family in the city of Dyer. I don't know. Let's go with impoverished family in Dyer. Your person named you Anton. As the only child of a farmer, you spend your childhood among the wheat fields. Life is not easy. You are too poor to afford a good education. The Rayne family will care regardless of your economically dire situation. The years passed. During the history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. The kingdom was no more. You do not fully understand. Yeah, I'm going to go because we were born in 08, so it would make us teenager. You have that idea the day off. See, I'm going to get somewhat worried. After graduating, you passed the university exam with high marks. Even though your family was poor, the public education system made it possible to go to university. You had studies to choose. You had the opportunity to choose several studies you chose. Kevin Business School. I'm trying to remember the last two runs. I think I've done these two. Let's go there because that's how we're from. So we'll go there. During the first year, you attend the lecture with David Rishi. I'm probably butchering that, so I apologise. A well-known diplomat, your teacher mentor. He's the son of the first president of Sordland, the revolutionary Arthur S. Rishi. The well-known diplomat, the foreign minister, and the son of the president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why realpolitik is important for a successful foreign policy. He argued that a strategy based on practical and material factors would be more successful in reaching Sordland's ambitions. You can principle. You question what you've been taught. I'm the guru. Practical material factors. I agree. Again, I'm not sure what effect this has on the end game. Soldiers entered the campus ahead of the first election. Many were in shock as the uniformed men crossed the security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest along with your best friend Peter Vector. You decided to protest with the students. Yeah, I want to protest with the students. One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Ludarian declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You join the students, slowly march towards a large group of soldiers. Suddenly the soldiers charged. A student fell and was trampled over and started running away. Hold your ground. I'm gonna hold my ground. I think they've slightly changed that one. They beat you relentless, so I got my kicked in anyway. It was a gloomy year. I don't think a lot. You can't change what happens. I just wonder. I'm wondering what kind of effect it has on your character later on. The coup split students into two groups and caused frequent fights, torture, and imprisonment of any opposing voice became daily routine in Dar. You didn't want to stay idle and decided to join a human rights group, political debate group. I can't be sure I've done all these. Human rights group, political debate group, student council. I'm going to go human rights group. The group heavily protested against the deteriorating human rights situation in Sordland. You contributed in thorough discussions on how to protect and expand freedoms. In one of the meetings, Peter Vector introduced you to a classmate of his, Monica. You immediately tracked her intelligence and her diligence. I think I've done the other two. I'm going to go number 2. She mentioned to you that she was a volunteer for the Swedish League of Women, an organised Asian companion for women's rights. You told her you hardly support her cause. You weren't particularly interested in women's rights, but you asked her to nonetheless. I'm going to go with 1. Took the charge of environment led you to join the Red Youth of Socialists. Ooh. I'm trying to remember what I did in the previous. I really should have checked. Red Youth, that's the communists, socialists, nationalists. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay neutral. I think I've done neutral before. I'm going to stay neutral because both will become important later on. The radio relayed that the communist general Ricard surrendered to Suzerain and his troops, demanding their surrender. They refused, and heavy fighting broke across the country. Couldn't believe it. They almost fought amongst themselves. Sordland plunged into chaos. The clashes escalated in a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Yep, chaos had to end. Characteristic Colonel Tarquin Salt orchestrated a sudden attack on the capital where the Lutheranist and Ricardist forces were battling each other. He defeated both, ending the war. A new constitution was written, and the military government began efforts to restore stability. Many people saw the colonel as a saviour. He formed the United Sordland Party and ran a presidential candidate in the first ever single party elections. I'm going to say I voted for them just because that would be the thing I'd probably do at the time. USP won the election by a large majority, and the military government announced a 4-year restoration period to transform to an entirely civilian government. As gradually you keep seeing Monica, you were both interested in marrying or starting a family. However, left her off in the military, calling you to fulfil a compulsory service. A devastating civil war broke out in the neighbouring country Welland. It quickly turned into a proxy war between regional and world powers. Distinguished Major Isaac Lancier ordered you to lead your squad to a border patrol mission. It was cold winter night and you began marching out of gunman outpost. I don't think this hasn't changed much. I think the visuals might have changed, but the general message hasn't. The general kind of things haven't changed. After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were overheard. Visibility was too low to confirm the source, and the squad crawled towards forward information and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border to Ascot. Let them slip through. After patrol, Major Lancier arrived at the angle immediately review of your command and called you a disappointment. Once one of your squad members had reported your actions. After several months of scrubbing the floors as punishment, you did surrender and you went back to civilian life. You and Monica decided to share their lives together. After receiving blessing of your parents, they've desperately changed the visuals behind. We got married and Holsword. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high-paying job within the Sordland USP. I'm just going to refer that to USP now, because it's a bit of a mouthful otherwise. It was much more difficult to start your career on a good foot because of the refugee incident, but you still managed. Oh, that could come back to haunt me. So we go. Work for the ruling party was the easiest path to power. The financial conversation with Drew get to pass. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to be idealistic. You became the foreign policy assistant to one of the more experienced members of the assembly. You worked long and hard reviewing dozens of foreign policy plans late into the night. We were climbing the ladder. Tarkansas gave amnesty to the remaining factions of the civil war and chose de-escalation and appeasement. The institution and symbols of the former kingdom were slowly replaced. His government launched several new initiatives such as civilian-funded bill programs to revitalise the economy, a social labour initiative to help rebuild and improve society and a large dam project to solve the energy crisis. The first multi-party elections in the history of Sordland were held. Tarquin won. The preparation of a comprehensive trade agreement with Agnolia, sorry, I can't pronounce that, was occupied most of your time, but your significant contribution to the trade talks triggered an invitation to meet President Tarquin himself, who offered you a key position. You would become the youngest member of the Assembly, except right away. The youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with the influential in the circle. You need allies, so you brought on Peter Vecton as your right-hand man. The birth of your Frank provided a brief moment of joy and relief. You sacrificed family time to prove your British party. We're going to go family time. During your absence, Peter Vecton found trustworthy contacts and strengthened your position in the party. At the same time, President Sol increases authority over the years, his growing ego starts to cause strife within the USP. The cracks begin to show. All this is a bit of a prologue, obviously. Again, and this is why I don't think this is why these choices matter, because you can't skip over it if you played it before. But anyway, Tarquin's President Sol barely secured a majority in the election against the opposing leader. So over the next year, Swedish people grew increasingly discontented with the corruption and worsening quality of life. Meanwhile, calls to the USP Congress became louder as the leadership struggle started to brew. Watch from the sidelines, not get involved either side. The contender for the party leadership was Eduardo Alfonso, a former and talented business magnate, and growing follower base within the party. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before Congress, President Sol was meeting party members one by one. He approached you too. President offered you a position as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade in the next government if you backed him in the upcoming vote. I don't know. I'm not accepting this time. I'm going to reject it. The Congress was nothing short of impressive. The banners of the USP were decorating every spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists and benefactors gathered for the turning point. The votes for the party leadership begin. See, I know what's going to happen. And so Pot wants to stab him in the back. Yeah, I'm going to stab him in the back. The efforts bore fruit as the leadership contest was won by Eduardo Alfonso. During the Congress, Tarquin announced he would retire from politics at the end of his term and appointed Alfonso as vice president. You knew the structure he had established was to stay. The country was becoming increasingly authoritarian. You were happy Sol was finally leaving. Troubled by the departure of Sol, I'm going to go happy Sol was leaving. I want to be trying to be idealistic. A month later, your daughter was born, Monica, named her Diana. She motivated during a tumultuous period in the party. As VP and leader of the USP, Eduardo Alfonso began dismantling all organisations and structures established by the USP, such as the State Educators Corps and the Swedish State Corporation Bills. General elections were approaching, and the USP were under new leadership. You joined the effort and party effort. Yeah. General elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with his secretary. He was replaced with a more popular figure, Franz Richter, but damage had been done. The new economic policy and extensive privatisation programme proposed by Alfonso secured election victory for USP. Over the following years, you did your best in order to make Sordland a better place, tried all that was necessary to climb the ladder. I'm going to go with one, be idealistic. Presidency of Alfonso saw many bold reforms in government and law enforcement and liberal democratic values. He valued your support throughout. However, due to infighting, disorganisation and continental economic tensions and fast-tracked privatisations, it was followed by a severe economic recession. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but the unfair election system hampered option efforts to campaign. You thought your party could not solve another crisis. What about the economic recession? With Peter's help, your president's USP grew, and the two of you worked long nights together. He flipped opponents to your side. He became the face of a new wing of the party. Step by step, with adequate planning, your wing took over leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. The moment to make a move had come. You blamed Alfonso for the crisis on television, advised Alfonso to step down. Listen to your advice. Advance Connect conceded the leadership struggle, and the party eventually voted you in because of your indisputable influence. Following this, you announced that you would be running for the president in the next general election with Peter as your running mate. It was your turn. After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to preserve national values. Democratic reforms, that sets you up against the Conservatives within the USP, but that sets you up against the Reformers on the other side. I'm going to go democratic values. The people are tired of empty promises. We need fundamental change in our institutions and government. A solid and transparent democracy awaits us, brothers and sisters. A new constitution, a new age is upon us. Election day, millions went to cast their vote. It was time to face the truth. Chapter 1, President Rayne. Okay. Alright, let's have a quick drink, because I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. Well, more than I normally do. Let me rephrase that. A lot of reading from the screen. Right. What do you want to look like? Hair. Gentleman sat, fedora, default. I don't know how much shorts a beard. That's not a very good beard. I don't like that. More like that will do. Let's go with Renan. Attire. Maleni vest. Maroon suit. Swordless first. Tuxedo grand. Office background, gold, maroon, red, turquoise. We've got office, accessories, thin glasses, Vaseline pipe. Let's go with none. Let's leave it at that. Let me know if you think that makes a difference at what you look like. I'd be intrigued to know what you thought. Let me know, also, if you tried 2.0, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've done. Yeah, if you've played the game before 1.2 came out or 2.0 update came out, let me know what you think of pre-update, post-update. And as Anton Rayne, you made the consequential promises to the people of Sordland to gain their votes. Consider the commitments carefully. After recent market reforms and with the recession, the country finds itself stuck between two different economic systems, with cause of profit and demand direction. Promote planned economy. But you're not going to give me a clue what's what. Market economy. Planned. Basic. If it's planned, we run the economy. If it's market economy, it's free market. Basically, we'll go free market. The global rivalry is between capitalist Arcadia in the west and the monarchy of Rumberg to the north, and the communist United Contana in the east is intensifying. Sordland has a potential to align with others or lean towards total. Let's go neutral because, yeah, let's just try to stay in the middle of them all. Because if we go west, we're gonna, that's gonna give us problems anyway. Let's just stay neutral. Remain neutral. In the last 5 years, bloodish. With that kind of growing immigrants have flocked to Sordland due to relaxed immigration laws enacted by former President Alfonso. As a result, these tensions are causing requests for a political situation. Retain relaxed immigration. That's tough on immigration. The once praised public education system of the nation has suffered significant setbacks. Oh, hang on a second, I'm not sure now. I'm going to stay relaxed. I'm trying to think back to how it went previously. The once praised public education system of the nation has suffered significant setbacks in the last decade. The lack of new schools, high student to teacher ratios, and low teacher salaries, even lack of classroom equipment in certain parts of the country, have caused massive divergence. Public education system focused education, with the nation's most funded branch until the national government reduced the defence budget significantly. With the increase of sabre-rattling threats looming in the north of Rumberg, growing presence of superpowers in the region, typical accounts of matters forever, law enforcement, Recent accumulating political tensions between the different youth groups, social pressures between multiple classified increasing issues and law enforcement. Police need help keeping up with increased crime rates. Health. Healthcare quality stagnated due to administrative inefficiencies, increased services demand, and increasing divide in service quality between urban and rural hospitals. No, I'm not. Hang on. So we've got education, defence, law or health. I'm going to go defence, I think. Yes. To accept passage, we won the election. I am now about to be sworn as the 4th President of Sordland. There are thousands watching the inauguration ceremony cheer my name, Anton Rayne. The die was cast. Distance of the Moon Palace stood on top of the infamous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what future waits me there. Looked at my family. My son and my daughter, Frank and Deanna, were next to Monica, my wife, her eyes glimmering with pride. Then I turned towards the key people and made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my government. I saw my previous rival and former President Eduardo Alfonso, who gave me a slight nod, and Tarquin, who was also invited, but as expected he didn't leave his island retreat. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Also Hawker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. The time for the oath has come. Indeed, it has indeed. So I'm not sure what I felt. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of the President of Sordland, and to the best of my ability to preserve and protect and defend. Yep. In I deliver your honorary speech, Mr. President. It is an honour. Brothers and sisters. The crowd looked again eager to listen to me. The current dire situation. We are enduring economic hardship like never before, but before today our nation is falling apart. Our people, we suffer in this dire situation. If we stand together, we prevail. In the past, we have been times of survival, times of conflict and economic hardship too, but whenever we stood together, we prevailed. God, that's it. I promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. The future waits as Sordland is above all in the world. Go that one. Okay. Change now, not in the next decade. Let's go with that one. Hundreds of houses cheered or shouted my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden all at the same time. Raise a fist. Fist in the air, which triggered huge bursts of applause. I looked long at the people of Sordland to burn this moment into my memory. When the President's guards came to notify me that it was time to leave, I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadillac with flags of Sordland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. So, Serge! Hello, Mr. President. Driver and bodyguard. I felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. Hearing my new title made me smile even more. If you allow me to introduce myself, I'm Serge, your new driver. Nice to meet you, Serge. It is an honour. He certainly bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing aside. I entered the car. Yeah, I was feeling back. I've got to go with the relaxed immigration because earlier on I let the immigrants through the border points. So it would be hypocritical of me to let them through, but then also go no more immigrants. Anyway, towards the palace. Yep, I'm travelling on the road. Serge to explain his duties as a driver. As minutes passed by, I found myself lost in thought again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly gestured out the window. Isn't it the beauty of the Marine Palace? He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-coloured domes. It was so bright I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded of my duties to the nation. After all, we owe a great debt to the men who led the country from here. Yeah, got that one. Well, said Mr. President. Our car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance in front of the doors. The car opened the door for me. I'm at Morgna West Corps. It's a famous swordish phrase from the times of the Revolution. A Morgna West Corps vectern dis sistar, which meant morning will come, victory is close. Okay. Went upstairs through the extravagant corridors to the palace marble and engraved wooden finishes decorated interior. My footsteps echoed in the colossal hall. Guards bowed their heads in respect as I opened the massive doors to my new office. Okay. Let's see what this new house looks like. Obviously I haven't got to see, it's a bit deceptive, isn't it? So we still can only see what's below us. However, I wonder if, because at the start, if you notice at the start we had all those additional countries. Where they are. Is this new? Is it just something I never looked at on the world map? Magnolia. Have they just gone all the way around or what? Oh, down there, look down there. Ew, hang on. If I missed something completely here or what? If you can scroll that further from the map, so we've got this is us here, Sordland. We've got also there. So this is a regional map. This is a map. This is the regional map. I think you packed. Then we've got Republic of Kourou. We've got down here. This I can't remember this being the Case and Treaty Organisation. I can't remember this being in the original game myself personally. Principalities, Kingdom of Rumburg is Mahusiv, Wellen, Agard, Three Cities, Kingdom of Vizia. This is where the DLC is coming in. Military week 4th to 13th, King Romus Taras, Constitutional Monarchy. They remember the Mercapian, okay. Member of Great. This is where the future DLC is coming in. Anyway, let's go back to the main map. Okay, let's go back to the main map. All stuff down here. Okay. Let's jump over here. Okay. Then read. So this is read the report. Low production in. Reports calls attention to the alarming levels of productivity growth in the region of Agland, where also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition, real poverty. Okay, so that's in the States. So the mayor of every Eric Neal reports lack of adequate infrastructure around Avori, which seriously undermines the attractiveness of his investment client. Okay. So, meanwhile, according to around 90% of the company's total expenditures in England is absorbed by logistical costs. Okay, fine. Let's go down to Lockhaven. The port of Lockhaven loses importance. None of the busiest Macopa in the Macopa continent falling behind in third position. While this negative indicator for administration, Lockhaven still has potential to shine as a major trade centre. The port of Lockhaven is the largest port of Sordland and holds enormous importance for the economy, particularly as a main distribution centre linking to the capital and parts of Sordland and the rest of the world. Okay, fine. So the ports of the state farm, know that. Okay, what's we got to look at over here? Since congressionals to wishes close cooperation between your countries in the future, Hagel signalled concessions from Magna in case of promising trade deal. Okay. And Acacia's. Okay, so he wants us to basically Agnolia. He wants us on. So, going to an election, list the country trade partnership, but he did unfair advantages. So, we've got a trade deal with them, but it favours us not there, so they're not happy about that. They want us on their side to join the communists, basically. Lesbia. Alvarez congratulated you on the results and spoke about hopes for a beneficial partnership deal in the future. He says best wishes to Sordland people and wonders about the effects of the encroaching Malanivist influence of the UC. Yeah, communist basically. I'm just the Melanies. I try and pronounce that every time. Right, quick over here now. Welland. Some since congratulations on the election victory and wish for a cooperative future in Welland and Sordland, signalling a desire to normalise diplomatic relations between the countries. Former civil war there. That's where we had our scandal from letting people over the border. Okay, what else we got? And then UC. The ATO advocates for global human rights tension. If you want to go in global tensions, the Caucasian Truth Organisation, an intergovernmental military and economic alliance of 4 countries led primarily by Caucasia. The rights would ride amid intensive nuclear developments and efforts to counteract the expanding influence of the USP, the CSP rather. ATO's so basically NATO, Warsaw Pact is what we're looking at there. Worldwide, where human rights are most needed, shedding light on areas in certain multiple contexts, including Eastern Macopia, Western Rica, Central Contana. Proposed strategies underline the need for actual collaborative efforts to. Okay, so basically they're the good guys. They're not the good guys, depends on your point of view. Let's have a scoot over here. Over here. Yep. Okay, let's go back over here now. Sordland. Okay. Briefing on country situation. I think I'm going to put it there. I'm trying to keep this about half an hour. I'm not just on the schedule this yet, just because I'm not even too sure when I'm going to put it out at the moment. So I'm not sure on the schedule. So let me know. Do you want longer episodes, like 45 minutes to an hour, but one a week, or do you want usual half an hour twice a week if I can fit it in? But anyway, let me know. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.